now. Good afternoon. My name is Yuwa Vosper, and I am the Policy and Regulatory Manager at We Act for Environmental Justice. For the past 32 years, We Act has been actively fighting against environmental racism, primarily in Northern Manhattan area, but we do have offices in DC, Washington, DC. So We Act also has a Beauty Inside Out campaign that ensures our communities are aware of the risks that are posed by chemicals commonly found in beauty and personal care products. Part of my portfolio at We Act focuses on toxins in cosmetics and everyday products. So in this role, I bring my knowledge. I do have background in intellectual property, basis of fashion law. So it complements how I view fashion and beauty and what I know about it. And I know what needs to be done. So I'm looking forward to extending this presentation with everyone. So I'm going to talk today about the Toxic Free Beauty Act, and this is HR 5537. Oh, there we go. So the FDA failure to regulate cosmetics. As Janet Needleman pointed out earlier, sorry, Manhattan, 1 second, I'm sorry. So as Janet Needleman pointed out earlier, the law does not require cosmetic products and ingredients other than color additives to have FDA approval before they go to market. So what does this mean? That cosmetics can largely be sold based on manufacturer safety claims without sampling, testing, etc. Some key points, FDA regulated does not necessarily mean FDA approved. FDA's legal authority over cosmetics is different, meaning cosmetics do not need any pre-market approval. The FDA can't pursue enforcement action against products already on the market that are not in compliance. So what does it mean to be not in compliance? The FDA can only take an action if the cosmetics are adulterated or misbranded. So cosmetics must be properly labeled. The ingredients and finished cosmetics are safe under label or customary conditions of use. So when we say adulterated or misbranded, adulterated means any chemicals added in it, and misbranded was it properly disclosed. But as one of our panelists pointed out, what does it mean to be disclosed? If we can't understand what is in our products and what this means for us and our bodies, then what does it mean to just say the chemicals there? You know, what it needs to translate meaning to the consumer. And who is responsible? Companies, individuals who manufacture or market cosmetics have a legal responsibility to consumers, but neither the law nor the FDA require specific tests to demonstrate the safety of individual products or ingredients. So this means cosmetic manufacturers are not required to report the ingredients in their cosmetics products to the FDA. And finally, enforcement and protections. Since there are no mandatory reporting requirements for cosmetics, the FDA does rely mostly on voluntary requirements. Even more, cosmetics do not have to have pre-market approval, as I just said. So any enforcement action that takes place most likely occurs after the product is already on market. So everybody knows popular beauty brands. I'm a big fan of Fenty Beauty. I'm a big fan of MAC, and I'm a big fan of Laura Mercier. And as Janet pointed out earlier, the problems that occur with talc-based powders. Well, all of these ingredients have talc in them. All of these products, I should say, have talc in them. And these are very popular products, right? Everybody wants to use them. I mean, Fenty is all the rage. Even I have these in my my cosmetics case, but I had to make a conscientious choice once I learned this was in my product. Do I want to continue using it, or do I want to find an alternative? But not many people may know these things. Not many people may know that this is in their product, and the harmful effects that are, that these products may have on you or your body. And also bioaccumulation. As products sit on our face, we apply them on our face, they absorb into our skin. Everyday usage may be harmful to some people rather than others. So I did some research, and here are some talc-based brands I switched to. And also, as we were saying earlier, Clearia app is another alternative to check to see what is in your products. And I personally have started using this a lot more in my everyday, because these were a lot of things that I was very ignorant on what was in the products. So I had to start making conscientious decisions. And that's what makes basically most of these bills, the underlying advocacy is having the purchasing power to make a decision on what is in your product. We want to know what is in our products. We want to know what is going on in our bodies. And this is a way for everyone to be aware and to make a choice. And as was discussed earlier, here are the suite of 4 bills. And the Toxic Free Beauty Act. So this bill will prohibit the use of 11 hazardous chemicals from beauty and personal care products sold in the US that are currently banned by the European Union, California, and Maryland. This bill would also ban the use of the entire class of perfluoroalkyl and polyfluoroalkyl substances, better known as PFAS. So the Toxic Free Beauty Act is sponsored by Representative Jan Schakowsky. It sits in the House Energy and Commerce Committee. And this is important to know because the House Committee of Energy and Commerce has congressional oversight over the FDA. And basically, congressional oversight is important because it refers to reviewing, monitoring, and supervising federal agencies that are under its jurisdiction. Some important facts to note that the toxic free beauty bills, women of color, along with nail, beauty, and hair salon workers are most at risk for the unsafe exposures present in toxic chemicals that would be banned by this bill. Well, why? Thousands of industrial chemicals are used to create the personal care and beauty products that consumers and professional nail, hair, and beauty salon workers use every day. Some of these chemicals have been linked to serious harm to human health and our environment. As was discussed earlier, the European Union has banned nearly 2,500 chemicals from beauty and personal care products. But in contrast, the US Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, has only banned or restricted 11 out of the 10,000 chemicals used to formulate these products. Therefore, the Toxic Beauty Act would close this double standard, this loophole, this double standard that allows cosmetic products to be sold in the US while already banned in the European Union. And as discussed earlier, the FDA does not have the legal authority to approve cosmetics before they go to market. So these bills help, as we said, close these gaps and to ensure that we have consumer protection and consumers have awareness of what is in their products. This is a fact sheet and it's going to be distributed to participants, and it lists the several ingredients that are prohibited by this bill. And what can you do? The first thing I did was download Clearia. That's one step into consumer purchasing power, and take action with us. Tell Congress to support the Safer Beauty Bills package, and remain vigilant and informed so that you can make better purchasing decisions. And that is it for me. I'm so sorry about the disturbance. I had a delivery come and they rang the doorbells.
Thank you so much, Yuwa. I totally understand. It's kind of comes with the territory nowadays. Thank you so much for your presentation. And it's great to mention that EU number has gone up. Now it's over 2,000 that the EU has banned ingredients. And I mean, you mentioned that, which I think is important. Yeah, so next up is myself. I'm going to be speaking on the Fragrance and Flavor Ingredient Right to Know Act, which is part of the Safer Beauty Bills package that we've all been talking about. So I'm going to share my screen here and get going. So again, Jamie McConnell, I'm the Deputy Director at Women's Voices for the Earth. Can everybody see my slides? Maybe I'll do it in slideshow mode, play from the start. So I work at Women's Voices for the Earth, and one of the issue areas that we work on is eliminating harmful chemicals from professional salon products and increasing disclosure of ingredients that are used in these products, so salon workers have a right to know what they're being exposed to. And also that researchers and advocates can have the information we need to better understand what the exposure risks are to salon workers who are using these products. So we've heard a lot about fragrance today in the earlier presentations with the Taking Stock and Capable study. And there's a lot of serious issues with fragrance. And one of the issues is that right now there are no requirements for under federal law that ingredients used in fragrance have to be disclosed. So right now, there's just no, salon workers aren't getting that information, and people who are purchasing personal care or cosmetic products in a retail store are not getting information of what ingredients are used in fragrance. So there can be over 4,000 chemicals that can be used in fragrance compositions. So that doesn't mean that all 4,000 are used in one fragrance composition, but if you look at a retail label, you wouldn't see this on the label of salon products because there are no federal requirements that they have to be for any ingredient disclosure for salon products. But if you looked at a retail product, you see the word fragrance or perfume. That could mean there could be dozens of fragrance ingredients used in that fragrance composition. But really what manufacturers are doing or suppliers are doing are pulling from these 4,000 chemicals listed on the International Fragrance Research Association's list of chemicals that can be used in fragrance compositions. In our analysis, a third of all chemicals used in fragrance have been flagged as toxic by scientists around the world. Despite that, again, we still don't have the right to know what ingredients are used in fragrance, and professional salon workers are disproportionately exposed to fragrance because they're using many fragrance products on their clients for multiple days at a time for multiple hours of the day. So they're really bearing the brunt of exposure to harmful chemicals. And research has shown, I mean, we need more research in this area, but research has shown that hairdressers and beauticians have a 47-fold higher risk of fragrance skin allergies than people in other occupations. But right now, there's no way to avoid some of those chemicals they may be allergic to because there's no disclosure. I think it's worth noting that the California Work-Related Asthma Prevention Program has documented that the use of fragranced products in the workplace is associated with work-related asthma. And as I mentioned, there's just lack of disclosure, which is deeply concerning, which gets us to the Fragrance and Flavor Ingredient Right to Know Act, also introduced by Representative Jan Schakowsky. The bill number is HR 5538. So what does this bill do? How does this bill solve the problem? One, it would require on-pack disclosure of any fragrance or flavor chemicals that appear on 21 designated hazard lists that are referenced in the bill, including any updates to these designated lists. So these hazard lists are often generated by a government agency, and it flags chemicals that where there's a breadth of research that show that chemical is toxic. And so this law, if passed, this legislation would require that any chemicals on those 21 lists that are used in fragrance or flavor must be disclosed. It also requires on-pack disclosure of the EU's fragrance allergens. The European Union lists 26 fragrance allergens, and those would have to be disclosed on pack, on the actual label of products, and including any updates to this regulation. And it's worth noting that the EU is in the process, albeit a long process, to update this list of fragrance allergens, to expand it to include over 80 fragrance allergens. And then also requires website disclosure of the hazardous chemicals that are required to appear on product labels, plus any other fragrance or flavor ingredients that are intentionally added to the finished cosmetic product at or above 100 parts per million. So this, if passed, this would give us much more information, needed information on some of the toxic fragrance and flavor ingredients and fragrance ingredients and flavors above 100 parts per million that salon workers are being exposed to. I also just wanted to note that there's already some precedents for this in terms of policy. You know, many of the groups presenting today, including Black Women for Wellness and Breast Cancer Prevention Partners, and the California Healthy Nail Salon Collaborative, worked to pass the California Fragrance and Flavors Right to Know Act, or SB 312. And this requires disclosure of toxic fragrance and flavors ingredients to the California Safe Cosmetics program. So it doesn't require on-package labeling, but it does require manufacturers to disclose that information to the California Safe Cosmetics program, which will then include that information in the cosmetics database, which is a publicly searchable database where you could look up products and see if they contain chemicals that you're concerned about. And it also includes salon products. So that's important to note. So just to wrap things up, I mean, what can you do to support the Safer Beauty Bills package? So not just the Fragrance and Flavors Right to Know Act that I was just talking about, but if you want to support the entire Beauty Bills package, you can get out your phone right now. It's super easy to do, and just text Voices Cosmetics to 52886. And we will get you connected and make it super easy for you to take action. Your voice really matters. Your experiences matter. As salon workers, I think it's really important that your experience is shared with congressional representatives on why these bills are important. It doesn't only takes a few minutes, so please take some time to do that. If you want to go a step, you can also call, again, text Voices Cosmetics to 52886. And if you really want to take a deeper dive into getting involved, you can schedule a virtual visit with your congressional representatives. And we're here to help you. You can contact me if you're interested in doing that, or really anyone who spoke today about the policies. And we'll walk you through the process. We'll be here to support you. And possibly we could even attend the meeting with you. So that's just kind of concludes the main points of what is included in the Fragrance and Flavors Right to Know Act and why it is important. That also concludes the policy presentations, and now we have time for Q&A. So if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. I really want to thank all of our presenters in this panel for presenting this really critical information about what policies have been introduced to address the issues we've been talking about over the last few days.